Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the 6th annual 2020 Indy Awards. And if you're wondering at home, the person we decided to have for the lead, if you don't know who Adam Copeland is Edge. We originally was going to go with Christian, but I said, hey, I'm pretty sure Edge has never been in a 12 rounds movie, and the same with Christian, but we flipped the coin and it landed Edge. Not Tails, but Edge. Yeah, maybe next time, Christian, I'm not sure. But besides wrestlers being featured in movies throughout the duration of these commercials throughout the night, I think it's time for us to put them in a proper place for the Indy Awards, and that's none other than our next award for the night, which is the Match of the Year, which is a match that captivated us and made us say, oh my god, this is awesome, or even fight forever like most of the fans would in most of the towns that they would wrestle in. And with that description out of the way, Dan the Weatherman Stu, if you will, please read the nominees for this year's Match of the Year. And here are your nominees for this year's Match of the Year. But what happened to the opening part that you had for it before? Like I said before, Dan the Weatherman Stu, and we told you before the Indy Awards, most of these matches, or a few of these matches, it's not under the WWE umbrella. So, yeah, read the nominees. Private Party versus the Young Bucks at the second episode of AEW Dynamite. Highly explosive. And that's the best way I can describe this match too, Dan the Weatherman Stu. Highly explosive tag team action. It would be the second Young Bucks match I would ever be able to see on televised programming in my local area. And not to mention, the first alternative wrestling form of TV I would be able to watch on television that isn't under the WWE umbrella in well over 18 years. Because the last time TNT trusted a wrestling company was WCW, and they went out of business in March 26th of 2001. So a breath of fresh air and a little bit of alternative programming with some tag team wrestling from these two young bucks, no pun intended, it's a pretty cool change in my programming for a Wednesday night. Walter versus Pete Dunne for the NXT UK title at TakeOver New York. And this match, ladies and gentlemen, is special for a multitude of reasons because I've heard about Walter on the indie scene, never really got a chance to see him on television, and only got a chance to see one of his matches with Will Ospreay, and that was a definite bar burner. But this one with Pete Dunne having the championship of the UK variety for well over 685 days, only for it to come down to a crashing end thanks to the impressive size and speed of one Walter, was absolutely phenomenal to see on TakeOver. And not to mention a pretty fun match to call too. Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 34. An evening of firsts. Yes, that's right, Dan the Weatherman Stu, a definite evening of firsts, with Kofi Kingston having to jump through so many different hoops just to get this championship match, only to walk away with the gold and become the first ever African American to ever hold on to the WWE Championship, a feat that I would never thought I would be able to see in WWE, but Kofi Kingston able to shatter the glass ceiling on a very emotional roller coaster of a night on the grandest stage of them all. Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole, baby, for the NXT Championship at TakeOver 25. A very instant classic championship match and the third leg of their rivalry, ending with a whole bunch of different forms of counters and Panama sunrises and super kicks left and right throughout the night, to see the fans in New York stunned, and not to mention Adam Cole going on to win the championship and to fulfill the prophecy later on that year of the Undisputed Era being draped in gold. So this was the building block for the prophecy to start. So yeah, it had some importance. Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley at Full Gear. The third pay-per-view of AEW. Yeah. Now, I'm not too entirely sure, and I don't have my record book on hand, so I'll go with it, Dan the Weatherman Stu. Yeah, this is the third pay-per-view that they were able to pull off besides AEW Presents All or Nothing, or even Double or Nothing, along with Full Gear, and even All Out. Yeah, a lot of pay-per-views from this company in the short span of time they've been around, and this one would feature probably one of the most dangerous matches I would be able to see this year, outside of the Triple H versus Batista match at WrestleMania. With the only exception that Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley during this match tried to kill each other, especially with that barbed wire bed thing that they had during that match and the glass that they decided to drag each other on. Yeah, really tried to kill each other during this match, which I think is considered more of a death match than an actual match. Oh yeah, I forgot, it was unsanctioned. That's the reason why all of that went on. Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks at Hell in a Cell 2019! Hell has no fury! And yeah, Dan the Weatherman Stu, you are right on that one. And speaking of people trying to kill each other in a death-like match situation, yeah, this one was definite proof of that, because anybody who's willing to put somebody on a high chair with kendo sticks and try to tiger knee their head off, yeah, definite improvement over the first women's Hell in a Cell match they had many years ago, and not to mention a match that I really thought Sasha Banks was gonna win, but unfortunately no. And the continuous reign of the fire-haired warrior known as Becky Lynch would continue on therefore after. And with all those matches read, Dan the Weatherman Stu, if you will, please read the winner of this year's Death Match of the Year. I mean, Match of the Year. I keep getting confused with those last two matches, but read the winner of the Match of the Year, if you will, please. And the winner of the Match of the Year is, drumroll please, Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 34. Congratulations! Yes, a definite congratulations to both Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan for getting that award. And not to mention, for Kofi Kingston to go on to hold on to the championship for 6 months. We're not going to include that part, but yeah, congratulations to all the other nominees as well for being a part of this award. And we can't wait to see what sort of thrilling and exciting matches you got down the tubes for next year. And hopefully by then we'll actually get the numbers of WrestleManias right, because Maestro, according to what he just told me, it was WrestleMania 35 for that Kofi Kingston Daniel Bryan match, not 34. But besides that ballpark era, folks, I think it's time for us to go back into the music once again, and when we return, we'll be back with the 9th award of the night, which is the most interesting person of 2019, right after a word from our sponsors. So stick around, there's still plenty of awards left to give out, and stay tuned.